Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Deborah Smith and I'm a holistic health coach and a plant-based nutrition coach and chef. And today we're going to be making creamy celery soup. Now, this recipe is a perfect fall soup. It's delicious, surprisingly delicious, and also so healthy and good for you. And it's easy, it's simple to make. You can do it in under 30 minutes, start to finish. So before we dive into making the actual soup, I just want to highlight some of the health benefits of a few of the ingredients so you know why to make this soup, why it's so good for you. Starting with celery. Celery is very rich in antioxidants that are antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antibacterial. So there's just so many health benefits from consuming the base of this soup, which is celery. We're also going to be cooking with coconut oil as opposed to some other type of oil or just water. And coconut is really high in fiber, it's low in carbs, and so it helps to regulate blood sugar. And then we're going to be using the spices coriander and turmeric in this recipe. And coriander is also known to help regulate your blood sugar, and turmeric is one of the most highly anti-inflammatory foods on the planet. It's really great for reducing stress in the joints, stress in the body, and I recommend consuming turmeric every single day, at least a quarter of a teaspoon, as recommended by physicians who study inflammation in the body. So turmeric is a really great ingredient to try and add into any of your soups. Let's go through all the ingredients really quick. So first of all, our celery. We're going to be using about 6 cups, 5 to 6 cups of roughly chopped celery. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. We've got one 15-ounce can, or about 1.5 cups of, you could use cannellini beans. I've got black-eyed peas here, similar. You could also use white lima beans or another kind of white bean, but basically that's what's going to make the creaminess in the soup base. I've got 1 small purple onion chopped. I've got a 1-inch chunk of ginger chopped up roughly. I'm adding a couple of parsnips that I had laying around, not in the recipe, but I'm just going to add them in because I had them. And then I've got 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley, 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro, and at the end of this, I'm also going to add in a little bit of salt and pepper when the soup is done, just to taste. Now you can download this recipe directly below this video, and please like this video and share it with anyone you think might like the recipe. The other ingredient that the recipe calls for is going to be garlic, 3 or 4 cloves chopped, and you would add that in the beginning of the recipe. I didn't have any garlic here today, so I'm actually going to just add in dehydrated powdered garlic, and I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons. So when you get this recipe and you read below that it has garlic in the recipe, you're going to add that in the beginning. So let's get into making this soup. We're going to start by adding 2 tablespoons of coconut oil to a medium-sized soup pot over medium heat and just let it melt. Then we're going to add in our aromatics. So we're going to add the onion, the garlic, if you're using chopped garlic, and the ginger. And we're going to let that saute until the onions turn translucent, so roughly 3 to 5 minutes. Next, we're going to add all of our celery into that mixture and let it saute for another 3 to 5 minutes until the celery gets nice and soft. Once the celery has been cooking for about 3 to 5 minutes, we're going to add in our cannellini beans, followed by all of our fresh and also dried spices. So we're adding in the parsley, the coriander, the turmeric, the garlic powder, and cilantro. So we're going to stir that all together and let it cook for 2 or 3 more minutes so that it mixes all the flavors and combines everything nicely. You can add a couple tablespoons of water or vegetable broth to thin it out a little bit. So after you've combined everything together and let it cook for about 3 to 5 minutes and mix it really well, we're going to transfer the entire base of this soup to a high-speed blender, and we're going to blend on high for 2 minutes. So the last step of making this soup is just going to be to transfer it back to our original cook pot. Oh, it smells so good. And we're going to salt and pepper this to taste. So you can also add in a little bit of water if you want to make it a little bit less thick, or you could use a little bit of vegetable stock at this point, just if you want it to be a less thick soup. But this is pretty thick, but I like it that way. It kind of feels like a real meal. So we're gonna just put this back on the stove top for a couple more minutes and season it with salt and pepper. And that is how you make creamy celery soup. It's vegan, it's simple, it's delicious, and it's so healing. So many health benefits. It smells so good, I can't wait to eat this. So I hope that you enjoy this recipe. Let me know if you make it. And as always, friends, may you be vibrant. So good.